Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. Hope you guys are doing well today. In this video, we're going to be looking at the Ballista mount coming out in only a couple of days with the Lancelot update. To get yourself a Ballista, you're going to need 4,500 siphoned energy. You're going to need a T6 mounted transport ox, not just the base one. You want the actual mounted one. You're going to want 20 planks, 20 leather, and 20 bars. You're going to come over to the energy manipulator and you're going to be able to craft yourself a ballista. Looking at the weight of it, it's still 109%, which is still crazy why it's so heavy. It's a little bit unfortunate, but we're going to stick that on. We're going to get mounted. Still a really long cast time to get mounted, but when you start looking at the stats, 4,000 health comparing to the lizards at 9,500 isn't very much. But I mean, it has some armor and magic resist, which kind of makes it half okay, and it is a cheaper mount, which means you can understand it having a little bit less health. The move speed is 10% slower than normal running speed, which is horrible. It's going to be horrible to transport. You're going to have to transport it with like a decent sized bag and then maybe courier on your boots, but I'm sure there's ways around it. In terms of the armor and magic resist and CC resist, it's pretty similar to normal, the sort of the fire battle mount. It's not particularly tanky and will get shredded very, very quickly if you get caught off guard with it. Looking at the Q ability, hit enemies in a very big cone, inflicting a bleed, dealing 59 physical damage per second and reducing crowd control resistance by 5% for 8 seconds. This effect cannot be stacked. So, looking at the bleed on its own for a second, the bleed just does, I mean, just working off that, 59, call it 60 damage every second for 8 seconds. 300 for 80-ish, going off quick maths, hashtag quick maths. 480-ish fizz damage to everybody it hits. Let's look at the animation quickly. And it hits everything. I mean, it's a really big animation. It's a 26-meter range, which is longer than Armor Pierce, I believe. It's crazy, crazy long. So you're going to be able to hit everybody with that. You're also going to be reducing crowd control resistance, which means you're going to want one of these in your group. Why? Because it's going to allow your tanks to make bigger plays and lock them down for a longer length of time. As well as the fact, obviously, it'll kick out a fair bit of damage by itself. We also then have the Pierce Through, which is aim at a single enemy for 1.9 seconds. After the target has been focused, you fire every 0.6 seconds for up to 15 times at the target. This effect cannot be stacked. So, against players, it deals 1.5% of the target's max health per hit. Against mounted players, deals 3% of the mount's max health per hit. And against creatures, deals a flat 47 damage per hit. Into 10-second cooldown lasts for I don't know how long it lasts for. About 6 seconds, I believe. About 9 seconds, actually. So it lasts for most of the duration. In fact, your cooldowns should be off if you get a full duration cast off. And obviously, it's going to hit 15 times, dealing 3% of a mount's max health per hit during that time. So you start working that out. Obviously, 45% of the mount's health guaranteed. If we have a quick look at the Mammoth a second. The Mammoth has, that's the transport Mammoth, I got confused then, 38,000 health, and it's going to do 45% of that in, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? Yeah, that's going to be insane. It's going to do so much damage to battle mounts, and obviously this was made to be the battle mount killer. And for the cost of it, 4,000 energy, you work at sort of 10k per energy, that's 40 million for this battle mount. Still quite expensive to a normal player. But to guilds and stuff, this is very, very affordable. So we have done a little bit of testing. The E doesn't stack up on people. You can't have 5 ballistas firing E's at the same target. It counts as like a buff on the target or a debuff, so you can only have one applied at a time. So, like I said, bringing 5 ballistas won't help you pierce through a battle mount any quicker. And the Qs do not stack either, which means you're only ever going to be able to get 1 bleed on the target. So ultimately, it's not going to be worth bringing more than 1, maybe 2 ballistas just for sort of complete coverage. And yeah, so very cool looking mount. I mean, there's a little ox inside. It does have a cool couple of sound effects. I mean, it looks amazing. The fact it's so slow is mighty upsetting, but honestly, I think it wouldn't be balanced if it was faster, and it does stop it being used as a ganking weapon. But yeah, so this is the ballista coming in the next patch. I honestly think battle mounts are going to be in a good place next patch. I can honestly see them being used but not relied on, and I think that's where battle mounts need to be. They're going to be more support like. Ballistas is going to be the only one that really does any consistent damage, which makes me worried that it's going to be like sort of mandatory in Zergs because it has damage. But we'll have to see how that comes out in the next patch. But like I said, it's quite cheap. It's very, very effective, and against battle mounts, you don't like that is the best thing. It also stacks really well with the poison lizard because it does increase that percentage. So you get that double damage. You start dealing like 90% of a mount's health in 10 seconds. It's going to die in seconds. But yeah, so I hope you guys are looking forward to the Siege Ballista. Going to be pretty cool. So leave your comments down below, like, comment, subscribe for more content, and catch you later, guys. Thanks for watching.